Good afternoon to all YouTube subscribers and Justin Fleming. Happy Friday. I'm here to give all of you my review on today's Young and the Restless. Friday, January 12, 2018. And today's Young and the Restless was getting really good to the good start. It's really good. I love how the way that they settled Reed today. But let me get down to today's show. Let me give you all my review for today's Young and Restless. Ashley arrives at the Jabot lab to find it in an easy raid following the break-in the night before. Paul arrives to think someone figured out a way to break in without triggering the alarm. Ash agrees to figure out which chemicals are missing and think about the motive. Then, at Victoria's house, she discovers Reed is missing in the morning. She phones JT, who comes over and gets on a computer. He says Reed's not in jail, and Victoria wants to call the police to report him missing. JT clucks that kid is falling apart. That's true. He is falling apart. I mean, that kid is high, really high. Something's wrong with him. What is up with JT, man? Then at Billy and Phyllis's place, she's frazzled from having Johnny and Katie for a few days, and Billy plants kisses on her. The doorbell rings and Reed storms in and says, "I need a place to crash." Billy tries to reassure her that the kid that Victoria won't send him to boarding school, but Reed can't deal with his mother anymore. Phyllis and Billy realize he hasn't let Victoria know he spent the night at his friend's place. Billy phones her and she puts him on the speaker so JT can hear. Billy reveals they shouldn't come and get him now. He overheard her talking about boarding school. Victoria agrees to let Reed stay there for one night. After Phyllis recounts how Reed's face fell when Billy started the one night only, and Billy jokes he's become his dad. Kane shows up and can't believe Billy forgot. They have a meeting. Reed appears and Kane chews at him about Maddie. Billy urges Kane to take the meeting without him, but Kane grudgingly reveals the client wants to deal with Jill's son. Back at Victoria's house, she and JT commiserate about the situation with Reed. She has to get to work, but JT thinks they should take a personal day, and Victoria reminds him that she's a CEO and can't unwind, but JT convinces her as she decides how well he knows her. Talk turns back to Reed, and Vicky hopes that he won't give up on his music. JT agrees, and the conversation turns them being glad they're getting along. Nikki arrives in JT's spot and spots JT. Nikki and asks if she's interrupting. Once she's up to speed on Reed's antics, she sprouts out that she never would have stood for such behavior. JT insists they're letting him cool off, but Nikki doesn't think he should get to weigh in. Victoria tries to repeatedly intervene as they holler at one another, then makes Nikki leave. Nikki vows to straighten Reed out as she does. After Victoria and JT argue, and it comes out she felt he and Mac paid more attention to DJ than Reed. JT scoffs at the Newman tactics and remarks that he sure was wrong believing things had changed. They rehash his reasons for taking Reed from her. He says he wasn't always focused on Victor at work, but she never felt she had JT's complete love or attention. The fight heats up when he recalls she was married to Brad when they got together, and she shoves him out the door. JT hollers for his coat, and so Victoria lets him in. Their eyes lock before they began kissing passionately and addressing one another on the stairs. Next one, Nikki arrives at Billy and Phyllis's place hollering for Reed. When he appears, she insists he gets his things and come with her, or she'll personally see it that he serves time. Reed follows her out as she stamps "March." At the club, Billy notices Kane is distracted by texting Lily. Kane admits the idea of two gorgeous women walking around Paris bothers him. Billy suggests he up his game beyond texting and make a grand gesture. Kane smirks that he is actually making sense. And X is yelling, "I'm going to get Lily back." And Ashley arrives and updates Billy on the lab break-in. She vows to find out who did this. They'll wish they were never born. Billy learns the operation is back since Jack left her, no choice, and is stunned to hear the latest on Dina and Graham. Ash feels they have to get rid of that sleaze for good. In a suite, Graham lines up his toxic compounds he found from the lab and looks calculating. At the ranch, Victor tells Reed he's pleased with him living with them. Reed snarks he doesn't want to go home ever. Once Reed's eaten, Victor orders him to clean out the stables, then contact the school and get his assignments. He'll be on schedule and have regular chores. Reed's floored. Victor chores is his own personal boot camp, and like any good soldier, he'll get his hair cut. Victor's security people will bring Reed back if he leaves. Reed sloughs off, and Nikki and Reed grin at one another. Okay, here are my final thoughts on today's show. I really hated that little love scene, that scene between Victoria and JT and Victoria on the stairs. I mean, I hated that. I mean, that's dumb. And second of all, I really loved how Victor and Nikki handled that boy Reed. He's a punk. You know, and Victor and Nikki did a good thing of sending him to boarding school. He really is. I mean, they did the right thing. Good job, Victor and Nikki. Send that punk ass brat to boarding school. Reed, what you did was stupid. You got no business at Billy and Phyllis's place. You keep saying you want to be a man, but you're acting like a dick, like all those other teenagers who has no manners for anybody or anyone. But you know what the problem is, Reed? That your family spoiled you for a long damn time, including your parents, JT and Victoria. Most of all, and they're done. So from now on, know your role and shut your mouth. Show some respect, because you're going to boarding school. If you don't go there, your grandparents will make you. You're a selfish, shallow, conniving little brat, and you deserve to be screwed over. And another one, I bet you that is Graham who was sneaking into that laboratory, or maybe either Graham or Ravi. He's either two of them who broke into that lab today. So that's my little review for all of you on today's Young and Restless. So subscribe to me, Justin Fleming. Hit like, make a comment on my video. In a few minutes, I'll do my little review on today's Bold and Beautiful. So subscribe to me, Justin Fleming. Have a good afternoon. Hit like, make a comment on my video, and then I'll do anything kind of review for all of you. I'll do Young and Restless and Bold and Beautiful at the same time. So subscribe to me, like I said, subscribe to me, Justin Fleming. Hit like, make a comment on the video, and I'll see you in a few minutes making my review on today's Bold and Beautiful. Peace, I'm out of here.